Namaskar, I Vishwaruparath welcome you all to Uday India Digital. Today I'll talk about how climate change is rendering operators of gondolas in the world famous tourist canals of Venice jobless. Venice is considered to be one of the most romantic cities in the world. India's relationship with Venice is also very romantic indeed, as the famous Bollywood song like Do Lafzon Ki Hai, Dil Ki Kahani was shot in Venice for the first time in a 70s era movie named as The Great Gambler. And then Indians travelled all the way to Venice just to get the feel of the song. Now not only Indians but tourists from all over the world will have to think twice and do a proper research if they are planning to take a trip to Venice, because the small water canals of Venice have almost dried up, leaving hundreds of gondolas used for transportation earlier parked on the canal banks. Unfortunately, leaving the gondola drivers unemployed overnight. Just recently, I read an article on the gondolas titled, "Is this the end of the gondola rides in Venice?" which also stated that Venice has no cars since the entire city is built along the canals. In the absence of water from canals, how will the transportation of the local people be managed with the extreme muddy and semi-dry areas all over? Climate change has led to a natural curfew in Venice, with the people locked in their homes due to the climate crisis without a government order. Upon studying the whole situation in Venice, I realized that Venice is currently at a loss of 61% of its water. The reason for that is the extreme heat in Italy and various parts of Europe. Lack of rain and the low tides created in the sea are also making the situation worse. In this alarming time of crisis, the Italian government or the European Union will have to put all other issues aside and put up a single front against only one major issue, and that is the problem of climate change. I'd like to approach this matter from yet another point of view. Italy and many other countries in Europe or many developed countries in the world are facing a climate crisis in one way or another. If they are not dealing with the climate crisis themselves, they are funding the climate crisis of the other countries. On the other hand, developing countries are also facing the same amount of climate crisis. So that means that 40% or more of the world's total funds are being spent on the climate crisis alone. But the thing that causes even more concern is that a big part of global fund amount will eventually fall short, as it will be divided and that it will fall in the future and the rest will be in the name of unemployment. Because not only Venice has to bail out gondola operators who are out of a job due to the climate crisis, there are many countries in Asia and South Africa where rising temperatures are forcing people from many different sectors to quit their jobs at once. Or they have to take a break from their work for some months. The number of workers forced to leave their work due to unbearable temperatures is not insignificant. This figure will be in crores. On the other hand, there will be thousands of people whose work will stop or deteriorate due to the shortage of workers, who will seek subsidies related to their survival from the government of their respective countries. In one way, the climate crisis is going to have a huge negative impact on the already challenged economic condition of many countries. On one hand, accidents related to natural calamities are increasing, and on the other hand, due to pollution, diseases have affected most parts of the world. If nothing else, the massive job loss due to the climate crisis is a new question. At such a time, if the whole world does not solve this problem by uniting with a common policy and equality, there is a possibility of creating massive unrest in the world. That is why this is the right time to fight climate change. and it is the time to restore world peace with the experiences of the past. With this, I wrap up this edition, and for more such informative analysis, subscribe Uday India on YouTube.